And one of the big reasons we want to talk to you too, especially during this period, because everybody knows from what the most part they know about you in terms of Premier Players International PPI, and your Dream Chasers tour that also is going to happen this summer, or God willing, something's able to kind of work out. But going to that topic, you are regarded as essentially, I mean, now they're calling you the ambassador, right? So you're basically the ambassador, the GOAT of European football. I mean, and I know people have asked you, what was that?
I said, I'm going to run with it.
Hey, you could use it. It's a good name. It's a good name. It's catchy. But that's the thing where you basically built, and I'm going to call it, it is essentially, it is a movement. It is a culture that you have now built here, where many from the very beginning said, this is not possible. In Europe, when players come up, they think what automatically? They think soccer. And you changed the mindset of many, if not all American coaches, especially at the top level, Division I, that there is talent out here.
Right.
My deal to you is like, also going back until you growing up playing football and all that. I mean, it has to feel good, right? Like you have to give yourself a pat on the back at some point.
Yeah, for sure, man. To be honest with you, I don't think I probably give myself enough credit because I don't think about it like that. But when I sit back and listen to interviews and read articles and basically the messages I get from kids or some coaches that makes me like, damn, I really changed someone's life. I mean, of course, I grew up in inner city of Cleveland. I mean, come from a single mom with 5 older brothers. So, I mean, it was kind of rough growing up. Like I said, we wasn't the poor. I wouldn't sit up and say we was the poorest, but we didn't have much growing up. I mean, my mother did much as she can to raise us. But like I said, I came from a environment where drug infested, crimes. I mean, I probably had, off the top of my head, at least 50 people I know got murdered. You know what I mean? From me being born until right now, I know at least 50 people and probably 10 childhood friends that lives was taken earlier by gun violence. So I kind of used football. I mean, I didn't start playing football until I was 15 years old, to my I'll say sophomore year of high school. I played 2 games as sophomore. So I went to a suburban school just kind of illegally because I was riding past. I seen a green turf for the first time in my life. So I told my mom I wanted to play. So I knew somebody that lived in this suburb. So I used their address to go to this school. But this person was dating my brother at the time. So they broke up. So this person went and told the school that I really didn't live there, like 2 games into playing football. So I had to move back to Cleveland. I was already living in Cleveland. I had to go back to Cleveland public school. Nobody really knows this story, to be honest with you. I haven't really told anybody about this, but went back to the Cleveland public school, didn't play football that year. Then I went crying to my mom, like, this is all I got. I want to play football. So she ended up moving to that same area with that school, fortunately for me, and kind of how I kind of started my football career. So I played there my junior and senior year, ended up going to University of Massachusetts on a full scholarship after that. That's kind of how I got into really what I'm doing now, because I didn't have a coach that was helping me with my recruiting. I was doing it all on my own. Okay. I'm not going to sit up here and sound like I'm 50 years old, but we had to make cassette tapes. We didn't have Huddle or anything where I could send a link out or this. I used to wake up literally at 5 each morning for 3 hours out, because you had to take a tape. You had to have 2 VCRs. So you had to double a tape. You had to take 2 at one time. So my highlight tape was it was 1 hour, because I had 30 minutes of highlights and I had 30 minutes of one whole game on there. So I had to wait. So I could make 2 tapes every morning. So I wait 2 hours. Then, like I said, I would probably make between 8 and 10 a week. So I would I would mail these things out to coaches. I probably mailed out at least 50 tapes on my own. I mean, I had a job, so I worked all my money I had made. I sent to either buying cassette tapes or FedEx, and one night these tapes to coaches. So that's kind of how, really that's how I got into what I'm doing now, man, because it was a lot of work for me at this time, just doing my own recruiting. So it comes easy and natural for me right now because how much I worked back in the day on doing this.
How was that transition for you, being a guy that, let's say, because I've been there. I mean, that was basically for us at JUCO, where we had the 2 VCRs. I remember that, sitting there and have to put it up yourself, and if you fucked up, you had to redo it. Like, it was tough. You guys understand, like, huddle nowadays, oh, guys, like, that's taking so much work out of it already. But
right.
How was it a guy for you coming like that, where you basically weren't highly recruited, having to essentially dig a path for yourself to now go to UMass and then continue professionally?
Yeah, so man, I'm not even gonna tell a story exactly how I got my scholarship at UMass. I'm gonna say that at a little later date. But like I said, I wasn't highly recruited because I went to a high school. I mean, a lot of coaches didn't come to it. They didn't have a Division I kid from this school probably in 20 years. I'm not sure, even longer. So no coaches really knew the school, and the coach didn't have any connections to get me. I mean, I was talented for sure, but they didn't have any connections to get me anywhere. So I literally took a phone book because one of the coaches had a book with all the coaches' numbers in there. So I took this book from his office. He didn't use it, so he didn't care really. So I literally for hours called coaches every night. Some didn't answer, but the ones that did, I just told my story to, just kept telling my story to. And it's kind of like I kind of wrote this on Twitter last week or a couple of days ago that I couldn't afford a phone, so I had a prepaid phone. So if I didn't have money to put on there, a coach couldn't get in contact with me if they liked me. So a week before signing day, like I missed on an offer from Indiana, and 3 Power 5 offers I missed on because I didn't have a phone because the coach seen the tape late and he called me and said, okay, we want to give you a scholarship. So I didn't have a phone to even answer. A week after I signed with UMass, I was able to pay the phone bill, and I had the voicemails of 3 Power 5 coaches saying they give me scholarships. And I was literally in tears because, I mean, UMass was an FCS school at the moment. I mean, if I can go back again, I mean, of course, I'd love to play Ohio State, but, I mean, I wouldn't change me going to UMass because it was the best time of my life. I mean, really, like, I worked really hard for this scholarship, not only, like, on the field as talent, but I really gave 6-7 months of my own money and my own time. Like, I didn't do anything else but call coaches and make highlight tapes. That's it. I did that for about 7 months straight. So, I mean, once I got that scholarship, man, I'm first person from my first time on a plane was my official visit to UMass. Never been on a plane before. Never been out the side of the state of Ohio until my visit to UMass. So, I mean, so to be honest with you, getting that scholarship was everything for me. Of course, I mean, I was crying because I missed out on bigger opportunities, but at the end of the day, man, I was getting a free education in school that I wasn't complaining about it.